Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we want to share some reflections on the article by Bonilla Carvajal and Tejada Sanchez, published in 2016, entitled Unanswered Questions in Colombia's Foreign Language Education Policy. This article clearly analyzes Colombia's bilingualism policy and raises important questions about how it has been implemented and how closely it responds to our realities. We are 5 undergraduate language students and we are going to speak from our experience, both as students who have gone through the Colombian education system and as future English teachers.
One of the first things that the article mentions is that bilingualism programs in Colombia focuses mainly on teaching English, as if being bilingual meant only speaking Spanish and English. Of course not. This leaves out many languages that are also part of our country, such as indigenous languages and Creole languages. Personally, in my case, for example, I never heard of other Colombian languages at school, only, Spanish, and they taught us English and French. Sometimes this focus was so strong in English that we didn't even work well in Spanish. I studied in a bilingual school. Now, for me in the future, as a future teacher, this makes me think that we need to broaden the idea of bilingualism, mostly in the classroom, because it's not just about teaching a foreign language, but also about valuing the languages already present in the students and in the students' environment. Being bilingual shouldn't be synonymous with speaking English and Spanish or more common languages. It should be more synonymous of valuing linguistic diversity and including multiple languages that we have here in Colombia.
Okay, another important point the old discourse is that the program isn't applied equally to everyone. There is a good difference between public and private school and between urban and rural areas. In many public schools, there aren't well trained teachers, materials, or ongoing English classes. In my personal experience, I studied in a public school, so I remember that they changed English teacher a lot. One year we have classes, the next we didn't. And when we did have classes, they were very basic. I realized that those who attend private school arrive to university with a much hit level of English. And also, as a student's teacher, this makes me think that one of our great changes will be to help close that gap. Perhaps with community projects, more contextualized classes, or even using free digital resources. We can help more students have real access to meaningful English learning.
The text also mentions that the goals proposed by the policy are unrealistic. For example, students are expected to reach a level B1 according to a common European framework, but often the conditions for achieving this are not met. This creates a lot of pressure for both students and teachers, so I remember that in school we were prepared more to pass standardized tests than actually learn to communicate in English. It was all about memorizing rules and vocabulary. We never spoke, we never wrote our own text, and I think that affected me a lot at first. So as a future teacher, I want to avoid repeating that. I would like to focus more on real communication, on what a student needs for their daily lives. I don't want them to learn English just to pass an exam, but in this way, they can use it as a tool for expression and connection with the world.
So finally, the authors also criticize how educational policy decisions in Colombia are often made by the government without consulting teachers or communities. It makes teachers feel like they have no real voice in the process, and on top of that, they do not receive the proper training or support to implement the demands or what is required from them. In my experience as a university student, I've seen that our teacher training courses are often not preparing us for the real challenges faced in the classroom. Like sometimes we talk a lot about theories, but little about how to teach in difficult or poor contexts. And I believe that as future teachers, we need spaces where we can participate in decisions, propose ideas, and feel supported. I think that it will also be important for universities to create stronger connections with schools so that they can offer more meaningful earlier internship opportunities that actually prepare us for what teaching is like.
In closing, we believe that Bonilla Carvajal and Tejada Sanchez text helps open our eyes to the gaps in Colombia's bilingualism policy. We, as students and future teachers, have already experienced many of these situations, and this motivates us to seek change. We dream of a language education that is more equitable, more inclusive, and more connected to the needs of each community. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you next time.